Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is January 4th, 2025, and we are getting into the volume 230 of me answering your immigration related questions. As you can see, I have all your comments in front of me. That's what I will be answering today. So before I begin this video, as I mentioned in every video, I am not an immigration attorney. This is not legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course Department of State with their visa bulletin, which we are now officially in January. So January 2025 now is in order. So all the numbers here, that's what we are looking at. Okay, let's start with the very first comment. Looks like it's just a comment from Sophia Cox. Thanks you, very helpful. Glad it was helpful. Thank you for watching. All right, next question is from Aisha Nias. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Hi sir, I need your help. I was arrested in February 2019, so about 6 years ago. The incident was with my 14-year-old son. He turned me into the police. I had criminal case. Now in January 2025, my probation was revoked. Can I now apply for citizenship? Aisha Nias, thank you very much for asking the question. Hopefully you had resolution there with your son. It sucks when the things happen like this between the family members, especially with children. They come here to this country and unfortunately they forget respect for the elders, for our old traditions. It's just part of the deal. But anyway, so your probation was revoked, or it will be revoked in January. So that's definitely a good thing. Yes, absolutely. Can you apply for citizenship? Yes, definitely you can apply for citizenship. Be prepared to have, during your naturalization interview, be prepared to answer a lot of questions in relation to the incident, to what happened, because they will definitely ask what happened, what was the cause. Well, they're gonna dig deep into that. So make sure to have all the paperwork. I would also definitely recommend having a consultation with an attorney. I do have with immigration attorney, that is. I do have a video on this channel that is specifically on how to find a good immigration attorney. A good meaning not just a good immigration attorney, but a good person who is an immigration attorney, because they are passionate about helping. They are passionate about giving to an immigrant, to the community of immigrants who are trying to do things the right way, who are doing the right things the right way. So definitely a recommendation to reach out just in case, to be prepared just in case. Since your probation has been revoked, I don't think there is no need for any kind of waivers or anything like this, because since it was revoked, you don't have any kind of you don't fall for any inadmissibility clause. All right, but just to be on the safe side, I always recommend be prepared for everything as much as possible. Of course, you can't be prepared for absolutely 100% everything, but as much as you can be, and in your situation, you definitely can. So just to cover all the ground. But yes, absolutely, you can apply for citizenship. Just be prepared that, yeah, there's gonna be definitely some questions about the incident during the naturalization interview. So make sure to prepare and answer everything truthfully. Have the documentation with you, and everything should be good. I think more important thing for you is to have everything figured out with your family. I'm gonna type up the answer for you. Thank you for your question, so I can copy it and answer for everyone else. Thank you for your question. It has been answered in volume 230, which will go live tonight at 6 p.m. EST. And everyone who's watching, make sure to subscribe. If you find this video helpful, make sure to hit the thumbs up to the video, so that this video, that YouTube shows it to other people, so that it's helpful to them as well. All right, let's move on to the next one. Next question from BAM673. I'm doing my husband I-145, I'm assuming, by myself, and I have a lot of doubt. He never been in USA, and he don't have any visa in 2010 to 17. We will with none. Bam, let me know what specifically your question is. I'll try to address it, what your doubt is, specifically whenever it comes to, filling out the form. I-45, let me double check, make sure I'm aware of which form it is. Let's see. There is no I-485, 145. There's a 485, but not 145. All right. Let's check out all forms. I-134. Yeah, there's I-140, petition for alien worker, but I'm not sure what 145 is. So Bam, please clarify your question and I'll try address it in the next volume. I'm gonna come back to it later and I'll type up to clarify the question. All right, let's move on to the next one from Mr. Harry. Do you teach immigration forms? If yes, please ping me, sir. Mr. Harry, not sure what you mean to ping you, but I don't necessarily teach immigration forms. I just do a walkthrough. So if you have any kind of questions, just let me know in the comments and I will address it just like this. All right, moving further to Piazza. Well, probably mispronouncing, sorry about that. Really good. Glad you found this helpful. Good on what is temporary protected status. Good, glad you found that helpful as well. Moving further to Anup Hafmadan. Sorry, probably mispronouncing the name. Hello, sir. Your videos are a great help. My case is F3, documentarily qualified, priority date 14 October 2010. My age right now is 20. I will be 21 in June. I know CSPA will apply, but my family is worried. I have seen many videos that the age can be locked. Is there any process to lock the age? If yes, how so? Great question. Thank you for asking. So whenever it comes to the CSPA, it is only the period of time that your petition is pending with USCIS, your I-130 petition. Sounds like you already know that. Sounds like you already done the calculation. So basically what you do is you take your priority date, which is October 14, 2010. All right. And then you look at the date when your I-130 was approved by USCIS. All right. So you take the receipt, the notice of action, the initial form that you received from USCIS showing the priority date, and then you take the last form from USCIS, because once you are approved by USCIS, that's it. USCIS is not dealing with your case. Your case is transferred to National Visa Center, where you get documentarily qualified, so far, so forth. All right. So that's the period of time that you can subtract from the age on the day of when the interview is scheduled. They say on the availability of the immigrant visa, but to be on the safe side, I always say on the day of the interview, just to be on the safe side, because those days when your immigrant visa is available and when the interview is actually scheduled, a lot of times there's quite a big gap over there. So if you want to be 100% on the safe side, you look at when the interview is scheduled. A lot of times we don't know, but we can estimate. About 6 months usually, that's safe bet. 6 months to a year is even safer. All right. So for example, you are in documentarily qualified, your priority date is in October 2010 and you're F3. So let's take a look at the visa bulletin and see what's going on. So if we look at the visa bulletin, right now it is on July 2010. So July 2010, people with July 2010 and you're in October 2010. So there is still, as of right now, as of January 2025, there is still July, August, September, October. So about 3 more months, roughly. About 3 more months for you to become, hopefully, that is if immigrant visa, that is if the visa bulletin is moving 1 month every month. So about 3 months for you to become, for your immigrant visa to become available. You're already documentarily qualified, so everything is good to go. The only thing you're waiting for is to be current on the visa bulletin. That's it. So roughly about 3 months. So once your immigrant visa is available, the interview is scheduled. Depending on where you are in the world, depending on how busy the U.S. Embassy is over there, it depends. Now, there used to be a process where you can expedite your interview based on, you send expedited request to NVC. I do have a video on this channel, and you can do it. But unfortunately, as of few months ago, 6 months ago, about 6 months ago, they changed it where now just because there is a CSPA, just because there is an aging out involved, you cannot request to expedite the case. You can only request to expedite the case if there is some kind of life-threatening medical emergency. That's it, unfortunately. It doesn't mean you cannot request expedited processing, but chances are most likely it will be denied. So right now you're 20, roughly about 3 more months. So January, February, March, April, maybe April, your immigrant visa should be available, roughly, if the visa bulletin is moving 1 month every month. Hopefully that's the case. So around April, you should be current on the visa bulletin. Your immigrant visa is available. Your interview is scheduled. But there is a very likely, most likely, that your immigrant visa interview is going to be scheduled after June, because April, May, June is only 2 months. Usually at least 6 months they schedule ahead the interviews. So on the day of the interview, you are going to be over 21. You are still eligible to go under CSPA because your immigrant visa was available before you turned 21, all right? Plus, what here is going to be really important is that amount of time that USCIS I-130 petition was pending. So that's why you need to do the calculation from the start, from the priority date to when the petition was approved. Let's say your petition was pending about a year. I would say it was at least a year. Why? Because you are in F3 category. F3 category, they take usually longer time to process. So I would say at least you have of that 1 year that you can subtract. So on the day when you go for an interview, you're gonna be over 21, but with the CSPA applied, 1 year roughly, but it might be even more. It might be even 2 years, 3 years. Some of the petitions, like for example F4, I know these petitions, USCIS, they are reviewing them like 5-6 years. There is no rush for them because the backlog is quite long. So whatever that time is, on the day of the interview, you can subtract from your age. So you see where this is going. So you're pretty good. In short, you're pretty good. But still, calculate it, document it, take all of this information to the interview just in case, you never know. Be prepared 100%, know your dates exactly 100%, have all the documents that corroborate the dates, and just in case if something comes up about your age being over 21, you can say, hey, under CSPA, there you go, I can subtract 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years when my petition was pending, and that makes me under 21, you know? Be prepared. But yeah, you're pretty good. You definitely should be under CSPA. You should not have any issues. So let me post a response here. And looks like you posted your question twice on different videos. So I'm gonna post a response here as well. And let's move on further to the next one from Rose Blue Music. Hello, thank you so much. That was very helpful. You're so good. Thank you. I'm glad you found this helpful. I have 2 questions. I want to apply online, and first question I noticed is, did someone assist you? As what I understood, I don't need to add myself since I'm not an organization or attorney. Correct. Yes, that is correct. Second question, and the great info you mentioned that if we applied for a green card in US to put not applicable about the immigrant visa. Yes, correct. So filling online will be the same. I should fill not applicable under these fields and also under port of entry. Okay, correct. Yes. So if you entered, whenever it comes, if it's a question specifically relating to an immigrant visa and they're asking about the port of entry, then yes, then in that case it's not applicable. Online application, you don't have to worry about putting not applicable. You can leave the field blank. That's fine. But make sure to double check that the port of entry is not a general port of entry that you entered through entering the United States. It might be the case. So even if you entered the United States with a non-immigrant visa, and it was, let's say, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you still have to put in the port of entry. Say, for example, let's say you came from JFK, New York. You can put JFK, New York. You can put New York as a port of entry. But yes, make sure that you enter that information. Appreciate if you have time to confirm. You have a great way of explaining it. Help me know how to renew my mom's green card. Of course, you're very welcome. Glad you found this helpful. All right, that's the response. We're going to move on to the next one from Sami Pio. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Can we file this form I-765 online? Follow up the I-485 form, which had sent previously by mail. Great question. So yeah, I believe so. I believe the I-765 is available online at the moment. Let me double check that while we're here on the forms. I-765. There you go. It is available to be filed online. Yes. But here's the thing. Before you file this form, make sure that you even need to file this form. The reason why I'm saying this is because I-485 is an application for permanent residence. Once you have the permanent residence, you have a right to legally work in the United States. You don't need a separate employment authorization, because that's what it is. Employment authorization is for those people who have a certain status based on which they can work in the United States of America, and they issue employment authorization saying that yes, you are actually in the status that is eligible to work in the United States of America, but not permanent residence. Because permanent residence by definition already is you are a permanent resident and you already can work. So let me give you an example. For example, you are in a non-immigrant visa. You're a worker. By that status, you can work in the United States of America. You still need an employment authorization though to work, to show that you are legally authorized to work in the United States. Let's say you're in immigrant visa, again, some kind of work visa. Again, a little bit of a different story. Let's say you're, for example, a student and you've been here for a year studying, and now you can apply for some kind of, you have some kind of, volunteer position or something like that. Again, employment authorization. Permanent residence is different, because permanent resident already by definition, that's it. You are already a permanent resident of the United States, so you don't need a separate employment authorization. So maybe in the meantime, while your I-485 is being reviewed and you need to renew or something like this or apply online, yes. But make sure you need it, because like I said, as a permanent resident, you don't need to have an employment authorization document, because with I-485 by itself, you already can work in the United States and you don't need a separate document. All right, let me post a response and we're gonna move on to the next one. From Sebede Badon. Sorry, definitely probably mispronouncing the name. Hoping it will be moved this year, 2025. Priority date August 2016. Yep, definitely hoping for everyone, honestly, to move. But if you have a specific question, Sebede, if you want me to tell you estimates based on the visa bulletin, I need to know 3 things, and that's for everyone who's watching. If you want me to look on the visa bulletin and give you rough estimates of how long you're going to be waiting for your immigrant visa to become available, I need your priority date, I need your family preference category, and also the chargeability area would be helpful. Either China, India, Mexico, Philippines, or the rest of the world. Of course, if you're documentarily qualified or not, that's helpful as well. So yes. All right, let's move on to the next one from Derek. Hey, I need help understanding something, please. I'm in the US and filed Form I-130 in May 2024. All right, and then filed I-485 in August 2024 while I was 20 through a green card holder parent under F2A category. Both forms are still pending and I am turning 21 soon on January 2025. Do you all think I will age out or my age will freeze while turning 21 and waiting for both forms to be approved? Derek, great question. Thank you for asking. So yeah, you are pretty close. You're pushing pretty close. The good news is that F2A category, there's not that much of a wait. So let's look at the visa bulletin and see where F2A is. So right now, F2A is on January 2022 and we are in January 2025. So 3 years right now, there is a backlog on F2A. And F2A has been catching up pretty good in the past year, I would say, of me looking at this. Catching up, and F2A used to be current. Not too long ago, maybe a couple of years ago, a few years ago, F2A used to be current. Up until this pandemic situation, it used to be current. So it is a possibility that it might catch up and it might become current in the next year or two, hopefully. That's wishful thinking. But as of right now, 3 years, about 3 years. So even if we just take the visa backlog, roughly you have 3 years ahead of you before your immigrant visa is available, which makes you, so you're going to be turning soon in January, so you're January 2025. So you're going to be 21 in January 25, another 3 years you're going to be 24. And most likely your I-130 is going to be approved not in 3 years, but a lot sooner. And that's the only time that you can subtract. Like I was explaining earlier to the CSPA question, you can only subtract the amount of time the I-130 is pending with USCIS. And in F2A cases, it is about a year, maybe year and a half max, maybe even less than a year, honestly, because the availability of the immigrant visa is within 3 years. So they don't take too long to review those. And yeah, that's unfortunately not enough to subtract from your age, which is going to be 24 on the availability of the immigrant visa. Again, it might be a lot sooner than that. And what I would recommend is you have a backup plan, because yeah, once you age out, then honestly this is the only thing whenever it comes to family reunification is for your parents to become US citizens and then petition you as a son over 21 of US citizen, or as F2B, which is going to be quite a little bit longer than that, quite a lot longer than that. There is a, let's see, about 8 years difference between F2A and F2B. So that will add quite significant amount of time for you waiting for availability of your immigrant visa. I keep saying immigrant visa, but in your case, since you're already here in the US, you're just going to get the permanent residence here because you already filed a I-485, which you've done correctly. So yeah, keep checking the visa bulletin on this channel. Once the new visa bulletin comes out, I go through it. I do the comparison to the previous one. Hopefully it moves on faster for the F2A and you can make it into, but it's a slim chance. It's a very slim chance there. All right, let's move on to the next one from FMHAS, F4, immigrant visa appointment. KSA, MLEG, GIGO, reschedule. So it's some kind of different language, 26 November. Oh, here's another one. Dear immigrant visa unit, this is not immigrant visa unit. I hope this message finds you well. Okay, so FMHAS, let's see, unfortunately we were unable to attend our scheduled interview in November 26, 2024. Okay, definitely not good. So definitely, as soon as possible, reach out. I don't know where your immigrant visa has been scheduled. Let's see. So you say something in Pakistan. ISB, I'm assuming Islamabad. So here's where you need to reach out. I'm going to give you the US Embassy in Islamabad. I scrolled too far. Where is it? Pakistan. There you go. Here it is. So let me copy this. Make sure to send this same thing with details though, because you need to identify yourself, because from here, it's a good thing that you didn't identify it here because you posted it in a wrong spot, but make sure to reach out directly. Honestly, I wouldn't even email them. Call them. Call the US Embassy. And where you will need to email is right here. I'm going to give you two links. So we're going to be link 1. This is for US Embassy. This is where you're going to have to call. All right, let's see. All right. So link 1, call these guys and let them know. And link 2, fill out this form right here, I'll show you. And that for everyone who's watching, this is how you do a public inquiry with the NVC. You click, this is official. You can find this link in the description below for the visa bulletin. This is what it looks like. This is official government website for Department of State, US Department of State. So you're gonna click on contact us. It will give you this page. From here, you will click on US visas contacts. And then you're gonna scroll down and you will see in the very first line right here, email public inquiry form. Click on that. And then from here, They always change this, so it's again, it's a little bit different. Here it is, online public inquiry form. So click on this, and there you go. This is a public inquiry form. So I'm gonna copy this link, and I'm gonna post it right here. This is what you need to do as soon as possible. I'm gonna copy both of these, and both of yours. And you should have done it way, I don't know why you're just now doing it in January 2025. You missed it in November. This is the kind of stuff that you don't do. For everyone who's watching, I don't mean to make anybody, but this is the kind of stuff you don't do. If you know you miss your appointment, you do it the day of the appointment, you do it a week before the appointment, you do it the earlier possible. You don't wait 3-4 months. That's how you not get the immigrant visa, So as soon as possible, reach out to the US Embassy in Islamabad, Pakistan, call them, let them know the situation. And the second thing, fill out with the public inquiry with NVC, National Visa Center, let them know that you missed your appointment so that they can reschedule it as soon as possible. Okay, let me copy this, and we're gonna move on to the next one. From Oretha C, thanks so much for the information, you're very welcome. Hopefully you found it helpful. Moving further to Semi Pio, thank you for creating this channel to help all of us. Need the guidance? I'll have to subscribe from now. Thank you for subscribing. Everyone, please, if you're watching, if you found videos helpful, make sure to subscribe, make sure to click the like button, because what it does is it helps other people to find these videos and to watch them and hopefully find it helpful as well. All right, let's move on to the next one from JDDJAJZM. It's probably not a name, but sorry if it's the name, sorry if I'm messing it up. I've been waiting 2 years for an I-824 form approval. Okay, consular processing. Yeah. I'm trying to get permanent residency through my mother's sponsorship green card holder, but I turn 21 soon, and I do not understand whether I qualify for CSPA or not. Would appreciate any clarification. Okay, so you are under 21. Your mother is green card holder, so she's a permanent resident. So you're an F2A, and you're also waiting for I-24. So you have a couple of things going on. So sounds like you turn 21 soon, but you have been waiting for 2 years for I-24. I'm not sure how long you've been waiting for your mom's petition, because that's what we calculate the CSPA based on. But since you've been waiting for 2 years here, I'm assuming you waited about 2 years for your mother's petition as well. Again, don't take my word for it. Check when your mother filed petition for you, the I-130 petition, when it was received by USAS. That's the priority date. Then check when it was approved, since most likely it has been already approved, because like I said earlier, F2A cases USAS reviews pretty quickly, at least 6 months, but about 6 months to a year sounds correct. So that's the amount of time that you can subtract from your age safely on the day of the interview, more or less safely on the day of the availability of the immigrant visa. So as I was saying, based on the visa bulletin, we have about 3 years as of right now. As of January 2025, we have about 3-year wait of the backlog for the immigrant visa for F2A. So you're just now turning 21, depending on when your immigrant is available, depending on when they schedule the interview, depending on how much time you can subtract, and hopefully after watching this video, because I described this quite in detail, but that's the numbers that you need to look at. But if you have any specific questions, let me know your priority date. I know it's already F2A, but put also F2A. Put the country, chargeability area. Let me know if you were already documentarily qualified, and I'm going to look at the visa bulletin specifically related to your case, and we're going to talk about that. All right, let's move on to the next one from Journaling WBA on part 9, question 76 and 78. Should I answer yes if I overstayed my non-immigrant visa status? Okay, so if you did overstay your non-immigrant visa status, yes, absolutely. Always answer those questions truthfully, because they have a record of it. So if you say no, they're gonna see it, and that's a big problem. You definitely don't want to lie. Be prepared though. I-485, they're gonna have additional questions. You're gonna have to provide some explanation on why you overstayed. A lot of times people have good reasons why they overstayed. For example, back in a couple of years ago, whole bunch of people overstayed their durations of stay because of the pandemic, because there were no flights, everything was closed. So if that's the reason, you have a good valid reason why you overstayed. So you will have to do some explanation. You will have to have some documents, corroboration, to corroborate the evidence corroborating what you're saying. Can be the tickets, can be canceled flights, can be, or if some kind of, maybe it was some kind of emergency, medical emergency, whatever it is, you will have to prepare for it so that their questions on why this happened, you're showing good explanation to it. But yes, of course, absolutely. Yeah, you definitely answer yes. Never, it's a bad idea to provide false information because they know the answers anyway. It's all in front of them. Once immigration officer opens your case, this all information is in front of them already. Your travel record, your everything. Or maybe not once they open the application, but once they look into your case, they're gonna know everything anyway. All right, let's answer the last question for today from Taurus Cool. Taurus Cool, thank you for being a subscriber on this channel. That's what this icon means, publicly subscribed. Again, everyone who's not subscribed to this channel, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit the like button because that's what it does. It helps others find these videos on the internet. Okay, so the question from Taurus is, please, what questions going to be asked for F3 immigration visa interview? Please, people don't talk about F3. Please make video of questions answered for F3 interview, please. Okay, so thank you, Taurus, for asking this question. It's a great question. So F3, we have married sons and daughters of US citizens who are obviously over 21, all right? Okay, so whenever it comes to F3, it's not as one of the easiest interviews, okay? And I'll explain why. The easiest interviews is the relationships, parental relationships. You're establishing that you are son or daughter. You're establishing the relationship, your brother, sister. Very simple, all right? You're showing the marriage certificate, you're showing the birth certificate. It says, oh, this is actually your father. Your father is US citizen. That's it, good to go, all right? Pretty straightforward. The only questions they asked is, why are you going? What are you going to do there? Why you want to live there with your dad? Are you going to live with your dad? What kind of work you're going to do? Basic stuff like this. To show that you have intention to immigrate, that you're serious about it, that you've done research. But when there is also marriage involved, and because you're F3, there's also marriage involved because you're a married son and daughter or daughter of US citizen. And when there is marriage involved, there's additional questions related to marriage. Now they want to establish that marriage is the real deal because unfortunately there's a lot of fictitious marriage stuff going on whenever it comes to immigration, including categories like yours, because people, they decide, they make extra money, fictitious marriage, somebody pays someone to get married, then they go, then they get the visa based on someone getting visa, they come here, they do the divorce, that's it, now they have permanent residence. You see how this can be. So this is what they look at in the consularship. I'm not saying, a lot of people do that, but this is what they look at. This is what they try to make sure it's not the case whenever you go for an interview, when there is a marriage involved. Like for example, F2A, same thing, if it's a permanent resident, petitioning for a spouse, you have the same thing. So make sure you're prepared with the documents showing marriage, everything. Make sure you're prepared to answer questions about the marriage. Where did you guys get married? Who came for the marriage? Did your parents fly in from United States to participate in your marriage? Do you have any pictures from a marriage ceremony? So make sure you prepare extra. I always recommend a folder that with all the documents that you have been documentarily qualified with, and also an extra folder for everything you think they potentially might ask. You have folder with everything you are documentarily qualified with right there available because they're going to check the originals, but just in case, an extra underneath a folder for anything that might come up like this. Hey, yeah, of course we have a marriage picture from our marriage ceremony. Here it is. See, it's my wife's dress as well, because that's kind of stuff they look at. It's unfortunate because it's sadly it's a case where, you know, there's suspicion for such things. But be prepared. Questions regarding relationship to your parents. Be prepared questions regarding your marriage. Be prepared questions regarding the overall intent for you to go and immigrate. Like, for example, oh, so when you actually get your immigrant visa, which state you're gonna live in? Do you already know where you're gonna live over there in the United States? Are you gonna live with your parents? Are you gonna live, or where are you gonna live? What kind of work are you gonna do in the United States? Have you looked? If you say, for example, oh, I don't know, let's say carpenter, they're gonna say, oh, have you tried to find any companies? I don't know, carpentry, whatever. You get the point. Like I guess carpentry, you don't really need to work for a company. It's one of those trades, but you get the point. So based on, you know, prepare. If you I'm sure you already done your preparation for the immigration to the United States, but that's what they're going to be asking you. How much you prepared, because your preparedness to immigrate shows that you are serious about immigrating to the US. And that's one of the things that they want to establish. And of course, questions about the documents, showing the originals that were submitted during the documentary qualification, financial documents. Again, they might say, hey, you know, ask you something about the tax transcripts, tax refunds. Because for immigrants, if we are outside of the United States, we're not really familiar with what that is. But if you're familiar with it, that shows that you did your research and that you know that when you come to the United States, you start working, you start making money, you start paying taxes, and you know what tax transcripts, what tax refunds, what tax, all of these things involved with submitting taxes, showing the, you know, whatever, doing the taxes. It involves. So you see, it means you've done research, it means you're serious about it. So yeah, so hopefully everyone found the answers helpful today. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions. Just make sure not to post them. Don't respond with a question to my comment within your comment, because I'm not gonna see it. YouTube does not show me notification. They do not show up like that. So submit it as a separate comment on any of the videos. They're gonna show up like this anyway. And I will try to address it in one of the future volumes. Thank you very much for watching. God bless, and I'll see you all in the next video.